quoted company in West Africa and the only Nigerian company on the Forbes Global 2000 list of companies. It has 13 subsidiaries spread all over Nigeria with operations in 13 African countries and an office in the UK. The group recorded a turnover in excess of $3 billion in 2010, and the Dangote Cement PLC is one of the group's 4 listed companies, and it's the biggest company quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I'd like to ask, considering the infrastructural and macroeconomic challenges in the Nigerian economy, how have you been able to achieve all this?
Well, it's true, you're right, there are a lot of challenges. These challenges, if you sit down thinking that yes, the challenges will be sorted out first before you go and do your business, then it means you will never ever do your business. And what we did was to actually look at these infrastructural deficiencies and see how do we sort them out by our own without waiting for the government to sort them out, so that we can actually have a very free flow of our business. And if you look at most of our plants that we've done, we actually generate our own power. We will never even use government power, or maybe the national grid, because our power production is much cheaper. That's number one. Number two, some of the roads around our area we do them, we build our housing estates. So most of the, like the gas pipeline in Oba, then we did it almost 92 kilometers, 18 inch. And we really don't have any issue in terms of infrastructure. And I think that is one of the main reasons why we are even successful. And if you look at it in all the other African countries where we are operating, it is only in Ethiopia and South Africa who are not going to put our own generating plants. So all other African countries in the same situation with Nigeria, we are actually providing our own power. So, but despite all this, you are right, yes, we are doing well. But at the same time, if you look at the size of businesses that we are doing, those kind of businesses, people are not really used to them in Africa. Actually, you just fishing the cement. But I'm not also saying that no, things are that easy. Things are difficult. But obviously, if they are that easy, then you have thousands and thousands of people competing over a very small market share.
So how were you able to grow the business to this size in spite of all the challenges that even smaller businesses don't seem to be able to cope with?
We were able to grow the businesses because we were very determined. We knew where we were heading to, and we had a vision, and we consistently pursued that vision. The mistake that people were making actually was just to get into business scene without having a vision at all. And that is really very dangerous. It's like you boarding a flight and you don't really know where you're going to. So most of these things, once we start from the first day, we'll have a target, and we'll keep pursuing that target till we get there. And we'll keep renewing that post, which is the target area. So that's really what we've done. We're very we've taken quite a lot of risk also, we're calculated risk. But it is actually the sheer amount of money that we keep investing, because we believe in what we are doing. And if you go and invest, yes, small amount of money, you might have a bit of failure, because maybe if there is a change in terms of exchange rate, government policy, people will always chicken out. And we try as much as possible to put in more equity than debt. Because if you put a debt, things do change here. I mean, you look at it in the last couple of months, maybe about 6 months ago, so banks were looking for people to even give them money at about 10%. But today, the interest has gone up very high. And unless you do your numbers right, you might be out of the cycle, which means you lose money, you end up losing, then you might not have the shock absorber to absorb the shock. And that's really one of the things that we have in Dangote. Apart from that, we are very diversified. I'm not saying that yes, all the businesses are all doing extremely well. Some are doing very well, some are doing well, some are managing, but majority were doing well.
Right. Critics say your success is as a result of government protection. What do you have to say to this?
Majority of people who are saying that, they are actually trying to cover up for their own failure. You see, with us, since we know that we're a high-profile company, we're always very, very, very mindful of going to government to ask for any incentive, because there is nobody. I mean, let me give you an example. For example, the cement business that we're doing, the one that was built in Calabar, the person who built that company has never ever been to Nigeria. Who led and built that company? Flour mill was just part of. They own maybe about 30%, but Orascom, that is led by Sawiris, he has never ever been to Nigeria. So really, if it is monopoly, we'll have blocked it, and we didn't block him at all. And there's no way we can block anybody. Ever cement they are building their own. Nobody. Once you have their money, yes, you can go and participate. Nobody is going to, nobody is going to stop you from doing what you want to do. Once you have your money, that's it. But you see, the other issue is that yes, we believe in Nigeria, and that is why we're actually investing heavily in Nigeria. The others are not investing, because if I were Lafarge, for example, Dangote wouldn't have been where they are today at all. Because they've been here since 1956 or 57. That was around the time that I was born. And what have they been doing that now? We're almost about 5-6 times their size. So it is a matter of confidence. If you have confidence in what you're doing, the country, you believe that yes, Nigeria is there to stay, and you believe that yes, Nigeria is a good place to invest, then I don't really see any problem with investing. We don't have any upper hand against other. Whatever that we're given, other people are giving. You see, government will give concessions based on sector. Okay, if there are rules, government will give a general rule. But we should not be blamed that if government says, okay, fine, yes, now we have a good policy on fertilizer, and now Dangote move in to go and build the biggest fertilizer plant in Africa. Even that one now, if you wait in the next 2-3 years, people will start saying that no, it is unfair, because they're giving Dangote something. We don't. And as a matter of policy, we have never ever gone to government to say, government, give us a waiver or anything. We don't.
What would you advise foreign investors and aspiring entrepreneurs going forward?
Well, foreign investors, really, what they need to do first is not for them to sit out there and try to just, listen to people talking about Nigeria. They should come here first. They should look at the opportunities here. And also, invest. There is nowhere, I don't know of any place on earth that is as good as Nigeria in terms of investing. Outside Nigeria, Africa, and the rest. I can assure you, you can make more money here than making money in Asia. The two real continents, Africa and Asia, where you can actually make quite a lot of money. But Africa is the best, and Nigeria is better than any part of Africa in terms of return on investment. Return on investment is much higher here. But you see, you have to actually believe in what you are doing. You have to have a vision, then you have to have a strategy of which to achieve that vision. Once you have this, the sky is the limit. But I can assure you, majority of people who are not coming here to invest is because they have total misunderstanding of Nigeria. Total misunderstanding. They just sit out there, they read papers, and they believe in what those papers, were writing, which I think it is totally wrong. They need to come here and find out what is the actual situation on the ground. And I can bet you, you look at it, 90% of our foreign workers, if you give them a job, when they leave Nigeria, they will come back immediately. They will not be able. It's like a virus. You cannot come and operate in Nigeria for 2 years as a foreigner and go back for good and go and check the paper. Anybody who has worked here, he will never ever leave Nigeria.
And what would you advise aspiring entrepreneurs?
Well, first of all, aspiring entrepreneurs is that when you are starting business, first of all, you have to be very, very honest. Because by being honest and being straight, you will actually establish a good name. Because there's nothing like a good name. Money will not buy a good name. That's number one. Number two, they have to sit down and agree on what to go and pursue. It's not good for you to try this today. If it doesn't work, you give up. You go to another. They have to have their vision, and they have to have a strategy of which to achieve that vision. Once they do it, I believe in Nigeria, the sky is the limit. But you have to be persistent, and also consistent in what you are doing. If not, you try something, maybe it might be bad at the beginning. Because if you look at it abroad, if they are starting a company, they will give it out for the first 2-3 years, will be losing money. But after 3 years, we'll fly. In Nigeria, really, we don't have that patience at all. Somebody wants to start making money the first day, which I think is wrong. So my advice to them is actually to make sure that they're very straightforward. They know exactly what they want to do. Because it's not good for you to get into something that you don't understand.
Thank you, Alhaji Dangote. It's been a pleasure having you with us. And you indeed make us proud as Nigerians, and I think all of Africa as well.
Thank you very much.